Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Kate. I'm just a hopeless romantic that loves to read. Golly gosh, it is 2026. I hope you guys had a great Christmas if you celebrated and a fantastic New Year celebration to ring in the new energy, new vibes. I'm so excited for 2026 because I flipped 2025 on its head. 2026, I'm just going for gold. I'm excited. But today we are doing my December reading wrap up because I have no interest in doing an entire year's worth of wrapped up. I did 65 books and I do not plan to sit here for 65 minutes talking about them. So yeah, we're just going to do December. I read 7 books, which I'm pretty impressed with because I was wrapping up uni, work was hectic, and just all the celebrations I had to do as well. I'm so impressed. Mind you, 2 of them were audiobooks, so they were a bit quicker to go through. But yeah, anyways, without further ado, grab a drink, get cozy, and let's get into the video. So at the beginning of the month, I picked up A 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This was a flow-on from my November TBR, and I really enjoyed this. Okay, we follow Clementine, who is an overworked publicist, and she organizes her life down to the very T. So her aunt has recently passed, who was someone she spent a lot of time with. They had a lot of holidays and memories together. So there's a lot of grieving and love within this book. But she was left her apartment, which is kind of like a pinch in time, which was such a cool and unique concept because one day she walks out into the kitchen and she finds a strange man standing there, but he lives 7 years in the past. So his name is Iwan. He is so charming, he is tender, he is kind, and he can make a damn good lemon pie. So their romance, it's very patient, very tender, and very earned towards the end. I'm not going to lie to you, the first half of this book was a bit confusing with the magic system or how the apartment's magic kind of worked. But then when I just kind of let it go and I just vibed with it, oh my God, it just got 10 times better. You just have to do that with her books, I'm finding, because once you do, you just are fully immersed, fully invested, and it's just a good time. One of my favorite things about this book was watching Clementine fall in love, because we always read about the men falling first, falling hard, but she fell hard. She fought it for a bit. It was heartbreaking, but it was also so heartwarming at the same time. Then we have Iwan. He was swoony, but not overbearing. He was kind, he was thoughtful, he was charming. And honestly, seeing him through Clementine's eyes made me fall in love with him even more. Now, in this, the grief element felt so real. Even though I didn't quite relate to Clementine and losing her aunt, there still was this emotional hit that I felt. Now, this book, it isn't perfect, but it is very meaningful. There's a lot of hope and healing within this. I really did enjoy this whole preface, and I honestly wanted 200 pages because I did not want to leave this world or leave these characters. Now, if you want a story that has a time slip romance, that has a lot of quiet yearning, and is a story about timing and destiny, then I highly recommend picking this up because you will love it. And I totally understand why people rave about this book so much. Now, the second book that I picked up was an audiobook. I listened to Crossroads by Devney Perry, and I honestly really had a good time listening to this. So we follow India and West, who have known each other since childhood because her family goes and stays at his ranch resort every summer. And as they grew up together, they just got ripped apart. So she comes back years later, not just as a guest though, but she comes back as the owner of the ranch that means everything to West and his family. I honestly really loved India throughout this whole story. She definitely was a character that was very genuine from the get-go, and you could just see that she was a good person, but heavily misunderstood. Then I could understand West and where he was coming from because he was losing his family legacy, like the whole ranch resort. So with that whole aspect, I could so sympathize with him and where his anger was coming from. Now, the chemistry between these two was definitely there. However, I really just wanted a bit more angst and I wanted that tension just to be pushed a bit further. And I honestly reckon that would have just taken this book from good to great. Now, one thing that I thoroughly enjoyed was their flashbacks to their childhood and every summer she would visit, and going from about age 10, I believe, all the way up to, I think it was like 19, 20, 21, something like that. We just got so many flashbacks of them as kids. This honestly added so much emotional weight as as well, and I could connect with them as adults, knowing what they had lost in the past. I really, really enjoyed this aspect. Now, I did listen to this as an audiobook, and the narration was so good. It's dual narration, dual POV, obviously. It was great pacing, and it really just came to life for me. So overall, this was an enjoyable read for me and was super easy to devour. It's sweet, it's heartfelt, and it's perfect if you want that cozy small town romance. I highly recommend. And then I went straight into Sunlight by Devney Perry, which is the second book in this series, following off Crossroads, because Jax was just an interesting and promising character. So we follow Sasha, who has moved to Montana for work, and she instantly meets Jax. He is a ranch owner, a cowboy, and a walking distraction. And during their grocery kind of cart standoff, which was honestly such an iconic meet cute. So they really do try to ignore the attraction for one another, because he's really, but not technically, her boss. And then there was one work event, too much champagne, and a one night stand. Next minute, there's a baby. So we have an accidental pregnancy trope with this. Now, I really wanted to love this book because, like I said, Jax was such a promising character from Crossroads, and I was so interested in it, but the story was just so average for me, and I found it very hard to connect with Sasha because honestly, she was just so insufferable for majority of the book. Like during her pregnancy, all Jax wanted to do was be there, support her, and help her through it, and she just kept pushing him away. I did like the first half of the book more than I liked the second half of the book. It was also very fast paced as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind reading about an accidental pregnancy, but I feel like throughout this whole story, it was their main bond and not the relationship itself. I honestly just wanted more chemistry between them. I really did like the emotional moments, and I can see why people did love this book so much, but for me, it just fell flat. But if you love a small town romance, accidental pregnancy, forced proximity, then I really think you might enjoy this one. Then the next book I picked up was Good Spirits by B.K. Borison because I was feeling festive and I just could not stop hearing about this book. It was just positive, positive, positive. So picked it up. We follow Nolan, who is the ghost of Christmas past, and we follow Harriet, who is a chronic people pleaser and an antique shop owner. So Nolan has been assigned to haunt Harriet for this Christmas. However, she's not really needing any haunting, and it was kind of confusing to them why he was tethered to her, but there's a lot of uncovering that has to happen, and they have to go through her past and his past to work out their present. And honestly, this was just such a good time. Now, with Harriet being a people pleaser isn't normally a trope that I reach for or particularly like, but in this book, it worked. Now, Nolan, God, dare I say it, he was so damn near perfect. And I know a lot of people just DNF this because he has a slutty mo, but I don't care. The fact that he was gentle, he was purpose driven, and he just really wanted to just get and do the job, help out, and then move on. And the fact he couldn't do that, he was getting so frustrated in this, but he was so emotionally aware too. Now, their chemistry was perfect. The banter was off the charts. The humor was just perfect, and the emotional depth was everything. Now, this book is not some fluffy Christmas romance, okay? There is trauma in this. There's self-acceptance. There's learning to choose yourself. Every scene matters. Every conversation matters. And can I just say, the fact that she put together a plot of Ghost of Christmas Past with someone that needs help with their present was absolutely brilliant and was executed phenomenally. And honestly, for it to be about, I think, 370 pages, the pacing was perfect. I finished this in 2 sittings. This book was honestly just so sweet. It was emotional. It was magical. And I loved it with my whole chest. I highly recommend picking this up. Then I moved on to Sawyer by Jessica Peterson. This is the 3rd book in the Lucky River Ranch series because I needed my small town cowboy romance. So we follow Sawyer and Ava. They're both single parents. Ava is recently divorced and went on a night out in the city. Sawyer just so happened to be in the city as well. They met, they had a one night stand. It was a good time. And then later on down the track, she ends up moving to Hartsville for a job at another ranch. Them to instantly meet again, and it just kind of sparks from there. Play dates, responsibilities just manifest into this loving relationship. I loved and adored what they went through and the trauma. I love the fact that Ava wasn't played as this damsel in distress. She was strong-willed, she knew what she wanted, and Sawyer was so emotionally intelligent. He was gentle. He was so kind and patient. And he realized a lot of things for himself, that he really doesn't need to have the marriage, the kids, the land, the white picket fence. And she honestly didn't want that, but she didn't want to hold him back. But they ended up just finding it works together. And they both had their daughters who were the same age, and they were best friends as well. It was just so beautiful. The found family continues to amaze me. I honestly am loving this series with my whole heart. I am loving the characters that Jessica Peterson are building here, and the found family and the world. I'm obsessed. I'm in awe, and I love it. Then I picked up my book club read, which was The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. And this was a good time. It was definitely giving murder mystery, Knives Out energy. So we follow Maggie, who is a famous author, and we also follow Ethan, who is a famous author. They are, however, rivals in their respective fields. They both get an anonymous invitation to a manor for Christmas, and that manor just happens to be for Eleanor Ashley. Now, she has a lot of her family relatives and close friends there because she reckons someone is trying to unalive her. One night, she disappears from her locked office, and Maggie and Ethan become reluctant allies to kind of solve the mystery, figure out what's going on, and see who's trying to commit this unaliving. So the whole story was so much fun with this murder mystery kind of Knives Out scenario. I really do think that Ethan and Maggie's relationship escalated far too quickly. I don't care how much he had been yearning for her. He was also overusing the nicknames, and it was just so repetitive and annoying. I did not like his character at all. He was just no. He was a no from me. I really did love Maggie because she was just so in to the mystery. I loved that aspect of her. And when they were wrapping things up at the end, I feel like it was a bit rushed. I feel like they could have extended it, because we went through an entire book of this murder mystery and they just wrapped it up like that. I was wanting a bit more drag out so we can actually kind of see every piece put together. But anyways, that's fine. It was a good, fun, cozy Christmas read with a bit of adventure. I had a good time. And then my last book of the year was The Bright Side of Christmas by Morgan Elizabeth. This is book one in the Holly Ridge series. So we follow Wren, who is a people pleaser to her core again, and she makes it her business to do everything for everyone. And since her grandmother has passed, she has taken on the role of the decorating committee within the town, and she got a new neighbor. His name is Adam. He is a famous songwriter that just wanted to go to a small town for some peace and quiet because he's got writer's block and needs some fresh air to breathe. However, he hates Christmas. Now, he doesn't want to decorate his house. Wren doesn't want to stop the 60-year tradition in the town because everyone decorates their house every Christmas. So she has a full-out decorating war with him. This was honestly so funny. Now, I will say Wren's people-pleasing nature just really held back from making this a fantastic read for me, because I felt like it was just the whole preface of the book, and I was kind of getting sick of the repetitive of it, and I felt sorry for Adam pretty much tolerating it, because he just kept telling her to slow down, rest, take care of yourself, choose yourself, and she just completely ignored him. However, I did love watching their dynamic as neighbors and going through this decorating war and then slowly falling for each other. I really found that a very cute and endearing element to this book. I loved it. This book was honestly very cozy. It was festive. It was feel good. Not perfect, but it was cute. I will definitely be picking up more of Morgan Elizabeth's book in this year, because I honestly had such a good time with her writing style. I just didn't like Wren. Again, not a people pleaser kind of trope person. Just not my thing. But I digress. So, okay, well, that was my December reading wrap up. I think I had another good month. I've had a pretty intentional year with the books I'm buying and picking up or downloading on my Kindle, or the ones I'm listening to. I'm just not picking something up randomly. I'm doing the research, or it's recommended by someone that I heavily enjoy their recommendations from, because we have similar reading styles and tastes. But yeah, I really hope this was a helpful video for you to pick up some of these, because I honestly don't see too much about the books that I've read this month. So I hope this is helpful. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. If you want to come and join the Bookish Chaos in my other platforms, I'll leave the handle on the screen. We have a really good time over there, guys. And yeah, wherever you are, hope you have a good day or night, and I'll see you in the next video.